Thomas Frank is due a staggering payoff after being sacked by Tottenham, and the Dane's miserable Spurs tenure may have cost the club up to £30. 7 million in total. Sign up for the football newsletter. Thank you. Thomas Frank won just 13 of his 38 matches in charge of SpursCredit. Getty. The North Londoners fell to 16th in the Premier League table last night as they deservedly lost 2-1 at home to Newcastle. Frank was repeatedly booed by large chunks of the crowd, who also sung for former boss Mauricio Pochettino during the second half. The 52-year-old vowed that his job was safe after the game, insisting that he was 1000% the man to turn things around. But with Spurs just 5 points above the relegation zone, and 12 days until their next match, a home North London derby against Arsenal no less, club chiefs have opted to pull the trigger. Read more in football. Tottenham paid a £6.7 million release clause to bring Frank over from Brentford last June. In addition to Frank, coaches Justin Cochrane, Chris Haslam and Joe Newton also made the move from West London. Spurs then handed Frank a contract to June 2028 worth around £8 million per year. Having decided to part ways with the Dane, Spurs face handing him a hefty payoff. Most read in football. Best online casinos, top sites in the UK. Spurs are enduring a nightmare season under Frank Credit. Getty. Including the £6 million he has already been paid, Frank's total 3-year deal was worth an eye-watering £24 million, and they could be forced to pay that out in full. He won just 13 of his 38 matches at the helm in all competitions. This means that, given the potential total £30.7 million outlay on his tenure, each win cost the club £2.36 million. Just 7 of those triumphs came in the Premier League, with Spurs winless domestically in 2026. There is a chance, however, that there may have been a clause in Frank's deal for a smaller payoff. Such a clause could see Frank paid a year's worth of salary instead of the full amount, which would still come to a costly £8 million. Frank was appointed prior to the ousting of Daniel Levy as chairman, but current chief executive Vinay Venkatesham and technical director Johan Lang were both heavily involved in the decision. What £34 million can buy? 4,300,000 pints of Beavertown neck oil, at £7.95 a pop. 0.13 skywalk experiences for every single person in the stadium capacity, 62,850. 219 top-of-the-line Range Rover Sport SV Blacks, for the players' car park, 1 Conor Gallagher. 483 modern London black cabs, to flee from angry fans. The easiest thing is to point to me. Following his side's latest defeat, Frank was asked by TNT Sports if his job was under serious threat from the club's owners. He said, "I spoke to them yesterday, so no, I understand the frustration and the easiest thing is to point at me. That's part of the job, unfortunately. I will work day and night to turn this around, but it is not just one person. There is no doubt we need to improve, and I need to be part of that." Frank, who was sacked barely 12 hours later, also pointed to the club's injury issues, with 11 players out for yesterday's match, including suspended captain Christian Romero. Dejan Kulusevski and James Maddison did not kick a ball for the Spurs boss, while Mohamed Kudus, Destiny Udogie, Richarlison, Pedro Porro, Rodrigo Bentancur, Lucas Bergvall, Kevin Danso and Ben Davies were also missing. Spurs were dealt another injury blow during the first half of last night's match as Wilson Odobert limped off with an apparent knee issue. The Lily Whites will not be back in action until they host Arsenal on February 22, giving them ample time to find a replacement for Frank. Recommended stories. Roberto De Zerbi, who was of interest to Spurs during Daniel Levy and Fabio Paratici's tenures, left Marseille late last night. The Italian was on Spurs' radar in 2023, prior to the appointment of Ange Postecoglou. Comments.